From the world's earliest civilizations to the most advanced societies of the modern age, humanity has been driven to explore the unknown and decode the secrets of the cosmos. Stars, planets, nature, even time itself, seem to move with an underlying order, a rhythm. And when we look closely at that rhythm, we find patterns, some obvious, some hidden. One pattern, in particular, has captured our imagination for millennia: the number 7. Why this number? Why do some numbers feel more meaningful than others? And why does 7 hold such a special place across cultures and belief systems? In pursuit of this question, we set out to uncover the mystery behind the number 7, a journey that spans from modern times back to the guarded secrets of the ancient world. Welcome to Find the Truth. Even today, 7 wields a strange power over popular culture. Legendary athletes such as David Beckham, Eric Cantona, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kevin Durant, and many more gravitate to the same jersey number. In casinos, slot machines flash 777 or 777 as the ultimate jackpot. Brands and pop culture keep amplifying the signal. 7-Eleven, the soft drink 7-Up, the Boeing 747, and of course the world's most iconic spy, Agent 007. The charisma of 7 pulls us in and, for reasons we can't fully explain, sparks a mixture of positivity and mystery. To understand why, we have to look back far into human history, and even into the sky. Thousands of years ago, as civilization rekindled after great floods and upheavals, people scattered across the globe without contact with one another looked to the same source for meaning: the night sky studded with pearls of light. With the naked eye, careful observers noticed 7 wandering stars that moved against the fixed constellations: the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Uranus and Neptune were too distant to be seen unaided. These 7 lights became anchors for calendars, myths, and gods. Across vast distances, cultures told stories of powerful beings active on Earth before the flood. Some said they protected and taught humankind during and after it. When we say gods in these traditions, we are not referring to the ultimate creator, but to a celestial class of beings remembered in different forms. In Mesopotamian lore, for example, we meet the Apkallu, the 7 sages, said to have restored knowledge and handed down methods of science and civilization to a world in ruins. Over centuries, people wove these figures into their cultures as protectors or deities, and 7 became a symbol of salvation and wisdom etched deep into the collective subconscious. The heavens naturally became the home of these skyborn beings, and so stars and planets were long associated with gods and heroes. Traces of this survive in something we still use every day: the 7-day week. In many linguistic and cultural traditions, each day relates to one of the 7 classical planets. Sunday honors the sun, Monday the moon, Tuesday the god of war paralleling Mars, Wednesday the messenger aligned with Mercury, Thursday the thunder god mirroring Jupiter, Friday the goddess of beauty Venus, and Saturday Saturn. 7 days, 7 moving lights, embedded in time itself. Yet ancient symbolism goes much further. In Sumerian thought, creation unfolds in 7 stages: primordial waters and chaos, the separation of heaven and earth, the establishment of cosmic order, the birth of the gods, the shaping of the earth, the arrival of waters, plants, and living things, and finally the creation of humankind. Temples, or ziggurats, were built in 7 tiers, often colored to match the deity honored each level. Mesopotamian cosmology spoke of 7 heavens above and 7 layers of the underworld below, each overseen by divine powers. The highest realm belonged to En or Anu, sovereign over the gods. From these heavenly houses the deities were believed to govern earthly events. The roots of astrology lie here: planets as divine agents whose movements mattered. Ideas like these echo across neighboring civilizations. In the mythic worlds of Egypt and Greece, we encounter sets of 7, great gods and wise figures reflecting the patterns seen in Mesopotamia. And in India, the number 7 appears in profound and distinctly different ways. Hindu tradition speaks of the 7 chakras, energy centers aligned along the spine, channels through which the cosmic life force flows. By purifying these channels through meditation, ethical living, and good deeds, a person advances along the spiritual path. Hindu cosmology, vast and intricate, preserves knowledge that seems centuries, sometimes millennia, ahead of its time. 7 sacred rivers, 7 great sages, 7 celestial bodies, 7 steps of wisdom, and more. One concept, Saptadvipa, often translated as the 7 islands or 7 continents, has fascinated researchers and seekers alike. Ancient texts describe Earth as divided into 7 principal land masses, a notion that appears impossibly advanced for its age, especially considering that Antarctica was only identified by modern explorers a couple of centuries ago. Hindu epics also speak of cyclic ages, yugas, spanning immense durations. Within those cycles we find references like Jambudvipa and the idea of a once unified land that later separated, echoes of what science now models as continental drift and the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea. Are these coincidences or distant memories of advanced knowledge preserved in sacred language? Hindu sources describe a Vedic wisdom encompassing architecture, cosmology, medicine, and crafts, knowledge said to be gifts from the gods. Even music carries a 7-fold stamp. Long before Pythagoras taught 7 basic notes to the Western world, Indian tradition enumerated 7 swaras: Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, and I. Accounts suggest that Pythagorean insights may have drawn upon earlier learning encountered in the East. The more seriously we examine these texts, the more we sense that some truths rediscovered by modern geology and physics may have been intuited or inherited in the deep past. Moving to the Abrahamic traditions, Judaism preserves the 7-branched menorah, a symbol tied to creation in 6 days and divine rest on the 7th. Those 7 branches also resonate with 7 paths of wisdom, 7 attributes of spirit, and the 7 classical luminaries. Beneath this lies an even older spatial schema found in Mesopotamia: 7 directions of the cosmos: north, south, east, west, up, down, and the center. At times, it feels as though the ancients were encoding not only 4 cardinal directions, but also a cosmological triad: vertical, horizontal, and central axis, as if to say this is how to navigate a universe suspended in the void. Whether read as symbol or science, the synthesis is striking. Across Jewish life, 7 recurs: Shabbat on the 7th day, wedding customs with 7 circuits, and many smaller symbolic details. In Islam, the Quran speaks of 7 heavens, and traditions reference 7 earths, 7 gates of hell, 7 circuits of the Kaaba, and 7 passages between Safa and Marwa. Over thousands of years the details vary, but the pattern endures, the symbol adapts, the number remains. Does 7 also appear in science? Remarkably, yes. In the 17th century, Isaac Newton refracted white light with a prism and described 7 component colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Centuries later, that 7-fold division still frames how we talk about spectra and mirrors the chakra palette invoked by mystics. The pH scale runs from 0 to 14, with neutrality at 7. About 70% of Earth's surface is covered by water, and in cosmology, poetic comparisons once described 7/10 of the universe as dark energy. Crystallography uses 7 crystal systems to classify the symmetry of matter. In atomic models, we teach 7 principal electron shells that structure the periodic table. Patterns appear in the human sciences as well. Psychologist George A. Miller famously argued that the capacity of short-term memory clusters around the magical number 7, plus or minus 2, a heuristic that, even if revised by later research, imprinted 7 in our understanding of cognition. Paul Ekman's influential taxonomy highlights 7 widely recognized facial expressions of emotion: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, disgust, and contempt. In medicine and immunology, clinical rules of thumb sometimes note 7-day arcs for inflammation, symptom cycles, or wound progress, not universal but suggestive rhythms that physicians have observed for generations. So what are we really seeing? Is 7's persistence a universal signature woven into nature, or the mind's powerful habit of finding patterns and attaching meaning? Perhaps both. The human brain is a pattern detector. We are wired to connect dots. Yet the recurrence of 7, from ziggurats to chakras, from menorahs to Mecca's rites, from prisms to pH, from crystal lattices to memory span, feels like more than coincidence. From ancient sages to modern scientists, from sacred texts to spinning slot reels, the number 7 has never released its hold on our imagination. Maybe 7 is superstition refined by tradition. Maybe it is a breadcrumb trail pointing to a deeper architecture of reality. Either way, it shows how belief, knowledge, and discovery intertwine across human history. This journey, from the first skywatchers to contemporary physics, is really a mirror of our species, endlessly curious, forever reaching. Perhaps the mystery of 7 is a clue that leads us toward truths still hidden, waiting to be rediscovered. Who knows? Future breakthroughs may bring back into focus things our ancestors grasped symbolically, giving us a new perspective on how the universe is built. If you have noticed other 7s, patterns, symbols, or scientific echoes, share them in the comments. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe for more deep dives, like the video, and pass it along to someone who loves a good mystery.